Welcome, everybody. Hopefully you guys liked my waiting music. Was that better for waiting for me to go live? I hope it was. We're going to have some fun tonight. I am an epic troll. Yes, this is true. I hope you guys knew that already, though. So, hey, I've got some guests. I'm just going to go ahead and bring them in tonight because we're going to have a lot of fun. Here we go. I've never had cleavage that beautiful. I mean, and I would probably guess that that's probably true. I don't know that you've ever had cleavage, Matt from the Dusty Wheel. But hey, we'll see. I want to bring in my guests real quick. We're gonna have some fun tonight. We're gonna talk about Wheel of Time TV show stuff. We're gonna talk. I have a game that I'm gonna spring on my guests too that they don't know we're gonna play. So let me go ahead and bring on my two partners in crime from the Tarvalin After Dark podcast. Let's bring on Jess, the Amerlin seat, and Recappa Sadai, except this is Brian in Brian form, not Recappa form. So here we go. Welcome.
Hello.
Howdy.
Yeah.
What's up?
Thanks for having me.
So people are like, wait a minute, who is Recappa Sadai without your getup?
Yeah, I know. It's weird for me because I usually try to be in costume when I do stuff like this, but sometimes you just get what you get.
Fair enough. Fair enough. What's up?
It's fun to just be Brian sometimes. It's nice.
I feel that.
For the record, I've never had cleavage that good either.
I'm jealous.
Well, if you guys have never been a part of one of my live streams before, one of the running gags is for every time somebody can make me wear this for like 5 minutes, if they pay for it, obviously. But because I'm cheap like that. But they make me wear my wig all the time.
I love that.
I figured what we could do is talk. We got to talk. First of all, if you guys don't know, like I'm a part of a podcast now with these two, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, is that probably a good way of putting it?
Yeah, we have fun.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'm having a blast.
I think Jess is going to knock her background.
Your background looks kind of cool when that happens. It was like very trippy. I was really enjoying it actually.
Like the White Towers.
It looks like a special effect.
It's like, look, all I want to do is hide my shame.
When you're covering Teleron Riyadh, do that and make it look all otherworldly.
That's a good idea.
Well, I figure we on our podcast, if you guys have not had a chance to listen to it yet, check out one of the cool things I can do. Watch this.
This is cool.
Bottom?
Yeah.
Check that out, people.
This thing is rad.
Yeah, I know. I love this software.
I got to do this.
Oh. Look at that.
Hey, Reyes.
Look at that. Okay, here we go.
So I love how this works.
Yes. So thank you very much, Jason. Appreciate you. But I will wear the wig.
Thank you. I love this. $5 well spent.
Well, yes. And this was Grendel bought this for me.
It looks good.
Grendel.
It's a really nice wig.
Hey, you look like Grendel.
Do I?
Look great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can wear it in a couple ways. Like this is kind of the off. I don't know if this is like Karen or I don't know what this is, but then like I can make it like Sia.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say you look like a cracked out version of Sia.
Right?
I can see that.
So any case, what I figured we could do, well, I guess I keep my ADHD is all over the place tonight.
Hey, me too.
Yeah.
Hey.
I mean, what I was going to say is if you guys have not checked out Tarvalin After Dark, that's the name of our podcast. They
better have.
Like, okay, how would you describe our podcast, Jess? Like, how would you describe it to somebody? Because it's different, right? I mean, it's not.
Yes. I have described it as part sketch comedy, part, what did I call it? Part sketch comedy, part like book discussion, part general bullshit.
Yeah, I call it that. I could see that.
Yeah.
General bullshit, book discussion, sketch comedy. Brian, anything to add?
Yeah, I think the way I've generally been describing it is sketch comedy, and also I think we have a heavy bent toward news and what's new with the Wheel of Time and the show.
Yeah.
So like for me, it's funny because I'm always so behind on the news, and the podcast is like my new way to keep up, which has been great. Like all our conversations, Nae'Blis is like, this happened. I'm like, wait, what? So it's almost embarrassing.
I'm like 50-50. I'm like 50-50. I heard this, and what the fuck? I had no idea.
Yeah, like you mentioned things, and I'm just like, wait, what? So that's like how I get my news now.
You know that because you said that, I'm going to start trolling you, right? Like, I'm going to start making up
it'll
news.
Be interesting to see what you can get away with.
I mean, I'm going to be like, guys, Tom Cruise has been cast as Ravine.
Right, like you could try stuff like that, but you would know better. So it'll be interesting to see.
I mean, I think I could pull it off. I think I can do it. I can.
I think you could try to pull it off.
Tom Cruise's Ravine. I can see it. All right.
Idris Elba for Ravine.
I'll take Idris Elba for anything.
If you told me that, I would be.
Come on, if
very
you
excited
know if they got Idris Elba for Ravine, that would be badass.
If Idris Elba were in the show, who would he be?
Ravine.
Ravine for sure.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
The description of Ravine right there. And he could totally pull off badass Forsaken too.
Oh yeah.
I feel like Idris Elba is like a Moradin would be cool. Like just like someone really grounded to be that. I'm so excited for the casting.
I know, right? Well, wait till we play the game we're gonna play here in a little bit.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
I heard you say in the thing that we were gonna do a game, and I was like, oh
yeah, you didn't know that, but
no,
it's not really a game. It's more of just kind of a fun activity. We'll call it an activity.
I love a game.
Yeah, it's not really, like I said, it's not a game, but Steven Seagal as the daughter of the Nine Moons. See, check this out. Look at that. See, tell me this
is so cool that you can do that.
I love Steven Seagal as the daughter of the Nine Moons. Like, we're going to save the fan casting. People, save your fan casting ideas for later. We're going to come back to that because the game we're going to play is I'm going to pop up random celebrities on the screen, and we're going to do 2 fan casts. We're going to do who we think they could be if they were random celebrities, and then we're going to do the funniest person they could be. That's how we're going to play. But first, I want to talk a little bit about the show because we got to talk a little bit about the news, but on the podcast, we're like keeping that part kind of brief, right? Like we're not. I think my time's up on the wig.
Oh no!
Yep, time's up on the wig.
That's a wig. That's what you look like now.
Hey, look. I mean, what's up with the Boris wig? There, people don't understand. Like you have, if you tip, I put the wig on if you tip. So there you go. People tip for it. But I want to play the clip again, just for everybody to see it. I know everybody's probably seen this 500 times already, but I want to play the clip again. And we can talk a little bit about it. So I'll play it like once or twice through if that's cool. So here we go.
Do not underestimate the women in this tower. Do not underestimate the women in this tower.
I like how it like awkwardly flashed back to us before I went to the video again.
I know, that was good.
I was like, hey, and then there we go again. But yeah. So that was the one without like the captions. That was the one Amazon released. But obviously, I'm sure you guys have seen this, right? Like, you guys have seen the video. So, what were your thoughts on it now that you've seen it? Like, that you've had a little time to react to it, that maybe you've heard more news? Like, is that exciting to you? Is it kind of like, blah, I wish they had given me more? Is it like like what thoughts?
Can I share a thought that I've had since our podcast while they're doing that?
Yes.
Because I don't know if I was completely honest about this. Okay. Podcast. Yeah. Afterwards, I thought about it. I was like, when I was asked, because Daniel asked us to rank this from 1 to 10. And I agreed with him. It was like 7. It was exciting. It was cool to see Maureen. And I didn't want to be honest about it because I do not want to be negative about these Amazon drops. It's not something we would normally get. I've really appreciated them, and it's been really fun to discuss. So I am not complaining about them. This particular one, I was kind of like, okay. And I wasn't sure why. And I thought about it, and I realized the reason why is seeing Maureen for the first time has always been a thing in my head. I've always been like, I can't wait to see Maureen for the first time. And that was it. You know, like that was my time seeing Maureen for the first time. And I don't want to be negative about this because most shows wouldn't give us things like this, and they're doing this for the fandom. But for me, this one felt particularly anticlimactic, to be honest, because that's the first time I got to see Maureen.
Yeah. I feel that. I
can totally see that.
It's not much. And yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think there's a balance there between like, they don't have to give us anything, but let's flip this around. Like, let's be real. We're the consumers here, not them. Like, like it's not like they're doing us this great favor when they're going to make a ton of money from us watching their show. So, I mean, there is a degree of like, yes, we're not entitled to get this stuff until it's ready, which is why I'm excited to give us anything, because a lot of times they're not even going to give us these teasers until like the show's ready to go, right? Until they roll out their marketing strategy, right? So like there is a fine line there. And yes, I wish we got longer than a 4-second clip. And I said this in my video that I released yesterday. I actually don't think that's even from the show. I think that was entirely fabricated for the teaser. Yeah. So I'm happy that we got to see Rosamund Pike as Moraine, even with her wig half coming off, which I don't know if you guys saw. That is kind of funny.
I didn't. Okay, now I'm gonna have to watch it like 20 times.
All right, here we go. I'll show it again.
Yeah,
you gotta watch on her. So if you're looking at it, your right, her left, it's right here above her ear. Everybody watch this. Here we go.
Do not underestimate the women in this tower. Do not underestimate the women in this tower. Do not underestimate the women in this tower.
You see what looks like the gray hair there?
Yeah, the gray hair.
Her wig lace.
That's her wig lace, like flipping up in the. I think, unless she's got a bunch of gray hairs. So,
as someone whose wig is
definitely, as somebody who's worn a lot of wigs, that's definitely wig lace. Like they didn't do the spirit gum well enough, and
right.
And as someone whose wig is always perfect and never moves anywhere, I don't know how they fucking let that happen. The nerve.
Well, the nerve, right? So that's what leads me to believe that's not a finished clip. Okay. That isn't, that's not from the show. I don't think. I mean, the background isn't moving. Like it's all stationary. I think it's just created for the teaser.
I was on the Dusty Wheel on Monday night. And the other guest was Christy Lee, Lucier, I think. I want to pronounce it French, Lucier. I don't think that's right. But she is a long time, like a super old friend of Sarah Nakamura. And she also works in the film industry. And she said that based on her experience and what she knows of film production, that was not a finished clip. It hasn't been colorized. It hasn't been edited. It hasn't been like none of that stuff has been done. So that completely tracks with what you're saying as well.
Do you think the line, do not underestimate the women in this tower, is a line from season 1?
No. He said that's not one we'll hear in the show at all. That was part of Rafe's Q&A.
Oh, okay.
So he said something, he was like, he prevaricated on it a little bit. He said that it's not that, we won't hear that exact line. Right. So I'm guessing there's probably some kind of, like, that's a condensed version of something else that she says.
Okay.
Well, I'm like happy it's not, because it would be weird for the in this tower, which implies she's standing in the tower. And hey, spoilers, but I mean, that would be weird.
She doesn't spend a lot of time there.
Like, she's never in the tower.
Because if it were a line from season 1 that Maureen said, there would be a lot of interesting speculation to make. But if it's not, then we shouldn't bother. But that's because my mind started to go to, Maureen bringing the girls to Tar Valon, if that's in the first season, if that line is there. But because that doesn't.
I was thinking that. I'm sorry. I'm just going to talk over you anyway.
No, do it. No, I love this. I'm here for this.
Shut up and let me
do
talk.
it. Work.
Shut up. That's another ADHD thing where I like talk over other people, and I try really hard not to do it, but sometimes I fail. But anyway, what I was thinking is,
Brian,
I don't know.
Yeah. Wait. So were we? Yeah.
I don't know if it's like, if we know for sure or if it's just something that we're speculating on, but there might be some stuff from New Spring in there, right? So it could be that she would be the tower for New Spring stuff. I don't know why she would say something badass when she had only just been raised, but I mean, who knows?
And who was she yelling at? And you know, it's not. I just think it
Yeah.
was a. Let's keep in mind like who that's for. That wasn't for us because
Nope.
Rosamund posted it. Amazon Prime Video posted it. That was their first like real teaser that they've released that wasn't directed towards fans. Okay. So because of that, like I really truly think that was mainly geared towards people who have never heard. They just want to know what she's doing next. And it kind of sounds badass, like the way she says it.
Yeah.
That's all. Like,
It does. It does.
They're just trying to show. They're obviously just showing off Rosamund because she won a Golden Globe.
Right.
Which they should be. I mean, they should be playing.
Yeah,
up
and they're right to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will say, I think showing the public Moiraine for the first time could have been a bigger moment.
Mm-hmm.
I do think.
Look at Brian being nice.
I think they kind of wasted an opportunity.
I agree.
If I'm being honest.
I can definitely see that.
I would rather have seen Moiraine in her full glory in the trailer, even if I had to wait 2 more months. Because this was like, I remember, I mean, I had heard there was a Moiraine thing, and I remember watching it and being like, okay, like I would have broken down sobbing the first time seeing her in that trailer, but now it's like it's kind of wasted a little bit. I don't mean to be negative because again, it's important to remember that these are bonuses that they're doing to get us excited, the book fans. So I'm not trying to crap on them here, but you know, it's just it was anticlimactic for me.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, it's valid to feel some type of way about it. You know, we all have, this is obviously a series that means a lot to us. We all are excited to see things. And if there's a specific thing that's really important to you and the first time you see it is, you know, a 3-second clip, that is disappointing. That's understandable.
Yeah, that's true. And really, she's not even on the screen for longer than what?
I guess that's the thing for me is it feels cut off. The clip feels cut off. And if it was just long enough that I didn't feel like it was cut off so that we couldn't actually see too much, then I would feel differently. But I feel like it's deliberately, we don't want to give you more than half a second. And for this particular instance, I was like, this was a big moment to show Moiraine for the first time.
Well, let me give you a hypothetical. What if it had been like a longer teaser of them showing some of the other stuff they had done, and then right when you thought it was about to be over, they flashed up and there she was embracing the source and boom, over. Would that make you more excited if it was, even though she wasn't in it?
Yes,
no. It was like just 2 seconds of her, same length.
Because that's trailer storytelling. That's the idea that like the last thing we're showing you is a glimpse because we've shown you other things and this is the most exciting thing, so we're only giving you a half second. But when you only get the half second, I don't know. I hate being negative. Like I lied on our podcast because I didn't want to be negative because I appreciate what they're doing and I see what they're doing and I think it's good. So I don't want to say that, you know, I disapprove of them putting these things out. But for me, this was particularly anticlimactic. I haven't really felt that way about any of the others, actually. But this was something that felt a little special, seeing Moiraine for the first time. And this clip did not feel like that moment. So, I don't know.
Well, guys, you have
you can feel...
Oh, go ahead. I was just going to say, I was going to recap here and say, Recappa Sedai hates Watt on Prime.
Right. So yeah.
Let them know. That's what I'm getting from this.
I'm sorry, Jess. Go ahead. Continue.
No, that's okay. What I was going to say is, like, you can feel both things. You can appreciate what they're doing and still feel like you wish that they had done something different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's fine. I don't think you need to apologize for it or worry about being negative. You just have a feeling about it, and that's okay.
It's probably good practice for when the show comes out. I'm sure I'll have lots of feelings and like, you know, I won't agree with everything they choose, but I'm also excited to see what they choose. So,
well, hey, chat, I would love to see what you guys think. Were you guys overwhelmed, underwhelmed, properly whelmed by the little teaser that we got? Some of you may be properly whelmed. Like I told you, mine was a 7. I'm sticking by that. Yes, I wanted it to be longer, but I'm still very excited we saw Moiraine. I'm excited, more importantly than we just saw Moiraine. I'm excited that we got at least an idea of what embracing the source might look like.
Did we?
That's what I mean. Yeah, she said it in her Instagram post.
But the screen just goes white.
Well, okay, but there's a shine. We got to see that there was a glow.
Okay. The wind and the glow, like the glow, I think was artificially added to like be like a flash at the end, but at the beginning when we first see her with the wind blowing, like that was a different glow, I think. So. Okay.
Well, here we go. We got.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
I need to like watch it a bunch of times and analyze, which I haven't done yet, but I'm sure I'll have fun doing.
Village Mattress is underwhelmed.
Demandred is medium rare whelmed.
We have the Bard of the Red Hand was sufficiently whelmed.
Are you pulling these comments off YouTube chat?
Yeah. Kev wants to know if you can ever just be whelmed, and
I think you can. I looked that up.
Whelmed. How do you like your steak medium whelmed or like
medium whelmed? Yeah,
medium whelmed. Art is proper. I don't know. That could have multiple meanings right there.
Yes, I think whelmed has more definitions than people are realizing. Yeah.
Now, Jason brings this up. I think Wadon Prime is being genius. They are getting miles out of their social media and giving us dribbles of anticipation while we are all stuck in COVID delays. And I don't think he's wrong. Look,
I either.
They are dribbling out. Sarah made this comment the other day on the Dusty Wheel, as a matter of fact, when she was on with Jess. She made the comment that they were very thankful that us as creators were kind of dragging every little piece of this into whatever, but they're absolutely right. They're giving us enough that we can make videos about it and we can talk about it and we can react to it and people can talk about it on social media. And there is enough to do that right now. It's not as though we're making like we're trying to make a lot out of a little. There's enough to talk about. Mm-hmm. So in that degree, they're succeeding. And once we see, I think a lot of the disappointment goes away when, like I said, there will be some real trailers coming here soon, guys. That are, I will tell you from at least the information that I had, a lot longer than what we've been getting. So, like that to me is exciting. That we're getting closer to that. That we're probably going to get a show this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sounds like it.
I mean, they're also picking up the pace. Like now we're getting to like every 2 weeks we're getting something.
Well, and also the stuff is getting more real. The stuff is no longer, I would be surprised if at this point they release something else like Whitebridge or Tom's Guitar. Now that they've given us actual footage, like we're getting to the point where they're starting to give us things that feel more real. And I agree with what Jason said. Like, I don't think they're being stupid. I think it's smart to engage all of us and get everyone excited and engage a conversation. It's been really fun. Like, that's part of why I love the drops. It's fun to talk about.
Well, by the way, that we're going to get in about 8 days, we're going to get some type of drop from Amazon Prime.
Why 8 days?
Well, today is the 23rd of March.
Okay.
Do the math.
I'm bad at math.
Oh, it's going to be April Fool's Day on Wednesday?
Well, I don't know if it'll be a Wednesday. I think maybe it is a Wednesday, actually. Hold on, let me look.
Well, do they no longer
it's a Thursday, but
it's a Thursday.
I mean, like, let's be real. It's a perfect opportunity for them to troll the hell out of people.
I don't know if they can risk that. We would flip. If they were like, here's the thing that you're not really getting, we would flip out.
Yeah, I feel like
we would.
I would do it.
It would have to be. If they did that, it would have to be.
Guys,
if they did that, it would have to be really obviously a goof.
I'm gonna let everybody know. Hold on. I need to stop you because, guys, I'm going to release something. I guess I told people I wouldn't do this. I'm going to release some top secret information. This is what Amazon's going to announce on April 1st. Here we go. Anyways,
I just laughed so loud. My husband closed the door. He's like, "Woman."
He's like,
enough of this.
Well, okay, so we can come back to the talk here. I would like to play a small game.
Yes,
I love games.
So I just picked a bunch of random celebrities, and I have pictures of them. Now, again, I'm still figuring out how to use this, and instead of sharing my screen, I'm just going to make it an overlay, so it's going to like plop all over our faces.
Sweet.
I think, hold on. Can I do this? Oops.
Ooh, that
I'm
was
just
fun.
hitting a bunch of buttons now.
It's
Ooh,
a
hey.
story.
It's exciting.
of a lovely
It's all like everywhere. I'm going to hit a bunch of buttons and they're going to pop up and we'll talk. So here's what I want to do. I want to get from you guys who would be the best fit for this particular celebrity for fan casting. And then like, so this, if they like had to be cast, like you were handed and said, you have to put so-and-so in the show, who would it be? Number one. And then number two, who would be the funniest person for them to be?
Okay.
Okay.
Are we sticking to season 1 or is anything
I don't
fair
care
game?
throughout the whole show. So,
Okay.
you know, at any point.
Good question.
Okay, here we go. We'll go with number one here.
Oh.
Chell Vannon.
Chell. Okay, so we got a Chell Vannon for Joe Exotic. Chell Vannon, is that your serious pick, Jess?
That's
or
my
is
serious pick. That's my serious pick.
Okay, that's your serious pick.
Yeah.
What about you, Brian?
Elias.
Elias Machira?
Yeah.
You want to see Joe Exotic as Elias Machira?
You want me to connect him to a character in the Wheel of Time? Like that's the one that comes to
I
mind.
have the perfect one for this.
Yeah.
You guys want the real answer here.
Okay.
Yes.
I feel like it's Elias.
Valen Luca.
No.
Yes.
Mm.
No.
Totally Luca.
He's way more of an Elias.
He's Luca.
He's crazy.
He's too, I mean, Valen Luca's really, really creepy, but he's too creepy
Oh, come on.
for Valen Luca.
This guy-
that would,
I mean,
Joe Exotic, like if he were in the Wheel of Time world, he would live in the woods and talk to wolves. 100%.
I mean, that is fair. That is a fair point.
I feel like it's Elias. That's me. That's
Okay.
exactly okay.
so okay, we'll move on from this one. We'll get rid of him.
Wait, now do we do the funny one?
Okay, yeah, you can do a funny one. Now, who's the funny one? Who would you cast Joe Exotic as in the show?
Lanfear.
Ominous.
Talmanis and Land. Okay, let's like you have to keep like you can't be. I mean, we already first of all they can't be somebody that's already cast. So
Oh.
Lanfear has been
Okay.
cast as Mad Hatter.
Well-
So that one's off limits.
Oh, I see. Okay. Ulver.
Okay, Over. What about you, Jess?
Oh, I said Tominus.
Oh, Talmanis.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with like a semi-serious / funny. Although I just broke my own rule, I was gonna say Tom Maryland because I mean you've seen his music
Alright, that'd
videos,
be fun,
right?
yeah.
I mean, like so good. All
There
right,
was always like a tiger following Gleeman around. It'd be fun.
okay, here we go. Let's do Lindsay
Who's that?
Lohan.
Oh, that's Lindsay Lohan?
Yeah,
He
Lindsay
looks so-
Lohan.
What? Is this that's not recent.
That's recent, I think.
Is it? Okay.
Did she get a nose job?
recognize her.
Her,
Somebody's in
like,
the
her
chat.
face looks weird.
She doesn't?
In the chat, we have Arter Hawkwing for
Okay.
for
I like the
that's
idea
back
of
when-
him as a hero for the horn.
You have we're going to go back to so we have anybody. I want to get the comments from the so we had Couladin. Matt said exactly Lanfear is off limits.
Okay.
Guido Kane,
Okay.
Tomas, the Golem.
The Golem.
Yes.
Who's going to be
Yes,
cast
yes,
as the Golem? What a great...
I have an idea for
Yes.
that one. We'll maybe get to that one later. Okay,
I want to see the auditions for the
So-
Golem.
okay. Back to Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah.
Who is Lindsay Lohan in the funny?
I mean, Elaine feels like low-hanging fruit to me. What about Brigida? I mean, I know Brigida's technically supposed to be blonde, but
these seem like the serious answers. So let's go with the serious.
Yes.
Ones. We got
Serious
Brigida.
first, yeah.
I
My
can see
serious...
Brigida.
I can see Brigida. I like that. My serious answer, first thing that comes to mind is Nicola. Because I think
Totally.
Lindsay's
Oh.
kind of got that troublesome side to her, and I think that she could be a really fun Nicola.
What if they wrote in Nicola and she said like something like that's so fetch?
That's so fetch. Ugh.
stop trying to make fetch.
Nicola, you can't sit with us. Yeah.
Not trying to make fetch happen, Nicola.
Yeah.
Okay, funny.
Couladin.
You're just gonna keep saying the same one. Say Couladin every time.
Hopper.
You voiced it's Hopper. Okay, let's see who we got here from the. We got Leandra, and I kind of like that one. Else Grinwell.
Leandra's already cast though, so that breaks the rules.
I think Else Grinwell's already been cast.
Aiel. Now this one I kind of like, Lady Cheyenne. I could see it.
I like that answer.
I do too.
That's a good answer.
This is another one that I thought of.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Avienda. I don't hate that either. Now, can you see her getting all rapey and being Thailand?
No, honestly.
I mean, I don't know what her range is, so
I could
I'm
see
also
her.
hoping that they remove that plot line. So
yeah, me too.
Mullane.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
She's got the hair.
Totally Savannah.
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 Oh, I don't know if she's
Yes.
old enough, but I like it.
That's
like
the
it.
one.
See, a couple of them said Savannah. We got a
Wow,
Shiriam
that's
in
a
there.
good- Shiriam. I'm excited to see who's cast as Shiriam. I love Shiriam.
Yeah, me
Narg.
too. Narg.
It'd be a fun Narg.
The dark one.
Love that. What if Lindsay
That's what I
Lohan
was
was
going
the
to say for
dark
Joe
one?
Exotic, actually.
I like the idea of Lindsay Lohan being the dark one. That's fun.
Alviarin.
Of your ooh, yes, like that.
What if she was just a random background Trolloc, like trying to get her
That's-
career back off the ground? She's an extra.
That's probably the best answer, actually. I like that. Her comeback is she's a Trolloc.
She's a Trolloc in the show.
Get
Okay.
it, girl.
Okay. Let me pick another one here. Let's do
Ooh.
Betty White.
Either Adelius or Van Deen.
Adelius or Van Deen.
Yeah, either one.
What about
She'd be
like
perfect.
Cadswain?
You know,
Yeah, she
think-
could do Cad Swain, but I don't know. She just go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm thinking because given who Betty White is and Betty White's nature, like I don't hate the idea of Cadswain. She could do it, but I just
She's kind of old, but
yeah. Well,
I think her comedic chops are wasted on Cad Swain.
Mhm.
Whereas
yeah,
with Adelius
right.
or Van Deen, like the hermit sister who doesn't do anything but read, like she could fucking do that and it would be great.
Yeah, I'm really trying to think of like an older character.
Leanie.
Leanie is a good one. Or no, Laris.
Laris, the
maybe
mistress of the kitchens.
Something
I get
something like that. I feel like I don't
Somebody
know.
said Floralia.
Oh, I love this one. Here we go.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love this one.
Nakomi.
Ooh.
Yes.
Of course, I don't know how funny that would be, but like I still love it.
You know what
This
I
is
would
another
love?
one that came to mind, Varen.
Varen, yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
I like the idea of her as like a flashback
Here's
appearance.
my favorite though.
Agonor. What if she was like Tamra Ospenya in a flashback to just like the Amerlin who was there for that? She's got to be like someone in power, but it's hard because she's got such a comedic vibe to her. Maybe, I don't know.
How about this one?
Bill Doman's aging grandmother.
Yes. Can't go as Bale Doman's aged grandmother. Absolutely.
Honestly, it would be fun to see her as Bear.
Bear.
I know that's kind of not really like it'd be fun. Bear Lane.
Imagine her hitting on Perrin.
Yes,
I bet she'd be great
Betty
at
White
it.
would not be afraid. Yeah.
No, she would not be afraid.
I'm really trying to scan through the characters. Yeah, it's a tough one.
Okay. We ready for another one, or do you guys like?
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
Okay, actually, here we're gonna take a break from celebrities. If Brian was in Wheel of Time, Jess, who is he?
Brian is Tominus.
Tomanus, huh? I think he's too young for Tomanus.
He could play older.
Thank you.
You're welcome, baby.
I think you are. Honestly, if I had to pick somebody for you to play, actually, I think like because you've got a lot of range as an actor, I think the look is Matt.
Really?
Yeah, I
I can see that.
no offense, Brian, but I kind of picture Matt.
I love that.
Like
I'll take
brown-haired
that,
twins,
please.
Like, right? Like that's kind of what I'm thinking. So
Love that.
yeah. But if I had to go beyond that, I could see you being like, what's his face? Tylen's son. What's his name? Beslin.
Beslin.
You're totally a Beslin.
He doesn't like that.
He doesn't like it, but he doesn't have Galad.
That.
How do you feel about this one? You should be pretty.
That's an
flattered.
honor. That's an honor. I would never be cast as Galad, but no, I think to put out to Watt on Prime, cast me as a Marin. Do it. I want to be a Marin, or give me Evan Hopwell.
What if they just made you a fierce Galad?
Galad super fierce. Yes, Galad.
Yes!
Yes. I'm going to kill you with my sword. I'm just going to. Yes. I've got a medallion. I can do anything. Yes, Demandred. Yes. Oh, no. Yeah.
That was the
best.
It looks like
best
I do something you've ever done.
Oh, and then I didn't.
I like that.
I'm going to spend the whole series just pretending I'm about to do something awesome and then not. Yes.
Let's
drag out my storyline. Yes.
on a moderately serious note, but it also is so funny. It amazes me. Like I posted this reaction, like in these people in my video, talking about how Rafe said, "Yeah, there's a trans flag and a gay pride flag, and that those they're in both, right?" And people reacted like they're gonna change all of the characters and make and it's just like I think like that some totally sheltered people think what you just did is what Rafe is doing, like. Like
I hope it is.
That's what Galad is doing. Galad is going to be like.
That's how they could have fixed that character.
Right.
It just should have been a little more fun.
Yeah.
We didn't really get a chance to
like it, isn't he?
Yeah, a little bit. I've never liked him. He bugs. But we didn't really dive into that on the podcast. I didn't want to. We had limited time, but that was exciting. I didn't know that he had posted the trans flag and that we're hopefully can get some trans representation because. Looking at the things that don't hold up in Wheel of Time, I think that's an issue that they will need to address because the magic system sets up a world that doesn't really include that. So I think it's important to at least address it in some way. So that's really exciting. I was thrilled to hear that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we don't.
If they made Min trans, I wouldn't be mad about it.
People have been talking about that, and I love that idea. I love that idea. How did that get started?
It might be low-hanging fruit for it, though. I don't know.
Because she's like a girl who dresses like a boy. Is that why people have kind of gone with that? I don't know. Is there like
men?
What's that?
People love to hate on men. I like men, but I don't think she's as much of a lamp as people say she is. But
I am sorry. I regret ever having started that because I feel like I have to defend myself every time. But well, I feel like she might be low-hanging fruit because she's already a person who dresses in men's clothing. I do think that her storyline. Well, I think that her storyline has some really unique opportunity where she prefers to dress in more masculine clothing. Then she gets to the tower and she ends up having to dress more feminine, and that could be a really interesting story arc where she starts to realize that this is not how she wants to live her life, and that she is in fact a trans man, and there's an opportunity there. You know what I mean?
I would love to see something like that. I think that's so cool. I've been curious to know how people chose. I guess I love that idea. I love it. It would be really for any character to get to have that kind of story on the Wheel of Time would be amazing to me. Given some of the stuff in the books, that would really mean a lot. I think to a lot of fans.
I think you have to be, and this is my opinion, but because I obviously I said this in my video, I'm cheering that on. I feel like anybody that really wants to push back about inclusion, just coming from a place of privilege, honestly, if they're thinking that way. But here's the one thing I don't want to see. I don't want to see pandering. So I want representation, but I don't want token representation, if that makes sense. Because I feel like, I'll give you an example. One of my favorite shows, even though it's a guilty pleasure, I love Big Brother. But every single year on Big Brother, they basically pick one token gay male that is like super, super flamboyant to be the gay on the show. They do it every year, right? But and I'm not saying that's bad. There's nothing wrong with that. But like, let's pick the most stereotypical that checks every box of what straight people think gay people act like. Let's put them on the show, right? To me, what that is tokenism at its core. It's not showing these people as real people. What it's showing is here's the stereotype, so we can check a box and we can say it's diverse. Like, I don't like that. And so like, I don't want them, and it's weird because I want main characters. I don't want these characters to be relegated to the side if they're going to have a trans character, if they're going to have a gay character, right? Like, I don't want them to be side characters, but yet I don't want them to make it such a focus that it drives a lot of people away because they changed something so major from the book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do. And what I would say is, if there were going to be a trans, if we had to pick one, if we had to pick character who we were going to make trans that wasn't in the books, so I mean, there isn't one in the books, but I would definitely not choose Min. I would absolutely choose a channeler, because I think that is the issue that needs to be addressed from the books. This question of, well, you're born, if you're a channeler, you either wield Saidin if you're a male or Saidar if you're a female, which does not include the possibility of someone who doesn't identify that way, or, you know, what happens if you don't identify that way? Which do you channel? Can you channel both? Like, what are the rules? It basically, the rules of that world kind of exclude trans people. So I would love to see a trans channeler. I mean, there's Arangar, that's another conversation, but to see someone who is to see someone naturally born as a transgender person who channels one or the other, and what that means, and just to see them included in the world of channeling, I think would mean a lot to me. And I think that would, if they were to choose a trans character, I would hope they lean more toward that kind of storyline, because that's where I actually think it's important. That's where I actually, because you know, with those are the issues reading the book, where I was like, but what about trans people? I thought about that reading the series. So I would hope if they were going to tell that story, they wouldn't use men, because I would want to see it with a channeler.
I'm with you.
And that's a really good point, because the whole basis of this magic system being the gender binary, we can do so much better than that. So I changed my answer to yours.
Well, it'll be interesting. I mean, it would be interesting to see what the rules are. I don't know what they would be, but it would be, I'm interested to know. It would be fun to see them expand on the world a little bit that way. And it doesn't have to be a major storyline, but just to give us an instance, just to show us that this can happen, would really mean a lot. That would be cool. And it would be something new for those of us who have already read the series. So I think that's a great option if they want to tell a transgender story, and knowing that he's sent the pride flag, the trans flag. That's where I hope they're going with it. That's what I hope we get to see.
Yeah. I would, like I said, I want it to be, here's what I look for in, because I'm putting myself in the position of, I guess it's hard to explain. Let me back up and say this. I'm trying to find the right words for this where I don't say something stupid, but I think it's hard sometimes for people to understand why representation matters when you are not the person that has ever not felt represented. And I'm not saying that as a knock on people, because I think this is true of all of us. Like, I think that we tend to not understand things that we have not personally experienced. And so for somebody who grows up as a cis straight male or woman, right, and has never put yourself in the mindset of somebody who is not that, right, and not notice that, wait a minute, almost all of the characters in major TV shows are straight white men, or they're a token, or they're an accessory to the straight white man, right? Like, and that's how most women are relegated to be sexual objects chased by the straight white man, right? Which is why so many women have gravitated to parts of the Wheel of Time, because there are strong female characters that are, like, Egwene is not a token, right? You can argue a lot about Egwene, but she's a badass and very feminist, aside from her little side dalliance with Gawain, right? Like, that everybody hates. But I mean, like, you have, for the most part, she's a very strong character. And so people don't understand how important it is, because people that grow up gay, people that grow up trans, feel relegated to feeling like they shouldn't exist. Okay. And I think that's hard to communicate, because somebody commented, and I don't want to give it too much credence, because again, it's a YouTube comment, but somebody made the comment, well, if somebody would kill themselves because the show didn't show a gay person, well, then they need a lot of help, right? Because I had made a comment in response that, hey, there are kids like this. It could save someone's life literally to see someone that looks like them, has an experience to them that they don't get to see elsewhere. That can, like, I know for a fact that type of thing can save young kids. And it seems dumb, but when you're talking to a 13-year-old that feels like everybody hates them and the people around them think that they imply that they shouldn't exist. I'll give you a couple terms that communicate that. When people say, I hate the sinner, or hate the sin, not the sinner. When you say things like that to somebody, what you've said is, oh, I like you, but you're wrong.
Right.
Like, everything about you that you think is you is wrong. When you say that to a 13-year-old, they start thinking about how they shouldn't be here. And I don't think people understand how harmful that stuff is. It's not that they're doing it intentionally to harm anybody. I don't think that's the case. And so I feel like it's super important for people to understand why something as simple as seeing a normal gay character or seeing a normal trans character that isn't a token, that isn't there to pander, that's just there and is normal and is alive, just like people really are, right? Because that's real. I feel like that is more important than people realize, especially
100%.
if you haven't been there, right? So anyways, I'll step off my soapbox, but like...
It was a great soapbox.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I love that. I agree with all of that very, very much.
100%.
And I think with the conversation of representation on my channel, the experience I've had is it's difficult because I think people who are not marginalized, when they hear this conversation, they feel like they're doing something wrong, like I'm accusing them of something. By saying representation matters and there aren't enough gay characters, there's a sense that I'm accusing someone else of, like, there's something wrong with them loving what they love or enjoying the stories they love. And that's not the point. Like, it's about representation, just seeing yourself. It's not even about making the story about that, which I think that's what they hear immediately is we're trying to make the Wheel of Time a gay story. And we're trying, like, that's so not the point. The point is just seeing yourself even for a second. That's the point. And that means a lot. It's not about the Wheel of Time should be a gay story and we should change all these characters. Like, that's not what we're trying to do. That's not what anyone's trying to do. The idea is representing a group that as for a lot of kids out there, they don't see that growing up, and it changes lives. And it's not about anyone doing anything wrong. Like, the people who are turned off by it or still don't understand, like, why that's important, I think they feel like this is an accusation at them, and it's not. It's just that, like, it's important to include everyone. It is.
Yep.
Well, and you know, Rafe Judkins did say that for every homophobic remark that he got on social, he was going to turn that person's favorite character gay. He 100%.
What a
he 100%
great
said that. He's like,
response.
yeah, he like, I think he might have retweeted like a homophobic comment that he got, and he's like, every time I get one of these, I'm going to turn that person's favorite character gay. This guy right here, Perrin's gay now. Like,
what a perfect gay man's response. Just like, bitch, don't even. I love that.
Fuck around and find out.
You want to fuck with me? You want to fuck with me? Go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, in all seriousness, it was funny when you were being Galad, the fierce Galad, but like, I really do think that when people hear or see Rafe say that, that's legit the changes that they think he's making, that they're, let me stab you with my sword and like running around and like, that's what people think.
You've been driving caged.
You're right.
Like that's what people think is happening. And it's like, no.
Also, the gay people they see in the media, that's what they've seen. They've seen Will and Grace. They've seen, these. I say Will and Grace because that I think was one of the first, but it also established what people expected to see from gay characters, and it's not how most gay people are. So yeah, there's a perception that like, oh, you're going to add a gay character, it's going to become this certain thing.
I really truly am not. And here's I guess the line I draw, because I want the representation, but I also don't want the changes. Like, I don't want them to be like, okay, Rand is gay and Elaine, Min, and Avienda are all men now. Like, that's not a change I want, mainly because like it would become the theme. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
that would be pandering and to the extreme. Yeah. I
don't want it to be the story. I want it to just be there.
Right. That's why
like
totally. That's why I was saying with why I hope if they choose a trans character, it's a channeler, because it does connect with the story. There is a reason to do that. And I mean, other than the important reason of representation, but there's actually a plot when there's a plot reason and it makes sense for the story, like, you know, that's when you should do it.
I'll give you a good one here that I saw in the chat. I mean, scroll back up and find it.
There are a lot of people here in the chat saying that they are 100% on board with gay Perrin. There are some Perrin Paul shippers.
This is one
of them, actually. I'm a Perrin Paul shipper, big time. I think Talmadge is gay. As far as I'm concerned, that's canon.
It was never explicitly said, but I mean, I think you could make some. That's a character that I don't think you change anything from the books at all. If Talmadge is gay, nothing changes.
Yeah, he's just
right?
he's just a gay.
Except that if it's the case, we should know. But
well, yeah.
Well, look, if the fact that Talmadge is gay and Matt knows it and is just totally fine with it, and they talk about it, like when they're in bars and Talmadge is looking at. Like,
I'm just saying, as a gay man, I don't want any crap of like, oh, this character's gay, we just never hear about it on the show.
Like Dumbledore,
if a character's gay, like don't pretend you're getting brownie points if you're not telling us.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so stick with me on this one.
Yeah.
Okay, Talmadge is gay. Matrim Cawthon is a disaster bisexual, and that is also canon to me. Talmadge has a little crush. Matt gets a little crush back. They have a little thing going before he meets Tuon.
I'm all for that.
Sure. Yeah, I love it.
Sorry, I put this up in the middle of you talking by accident, but it is one that I think is worth talking about. I'd be cool with this one too.
Yes.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I mean, the Swan Moiraine thing is so brushed over, and I think it's like, oh, that would be cool. Like,
I actually think it would be great. And I think it sets up a lot. It sets up their characters very well. Because they've both essentially dedicated their lives. Like, think about the life they could have had together, right? But they didn't, because they were very focused on their goal of saving the world. I love this, Matt, and I think credit to Mimo. I love it. I think this one would be awesome. I really don't I don't mind the Tom Moiraine thing, but I don't like it.
I don't think it adds anything to the story.
I don't. No. And I think for a lot of people, it comes out of nowhere. It's subtle. Like, you can catch the subtle hints of it early on, but it does for a lot of people, I think, come out of nowhere. I really like Swan Moiraine. I think that would be a great example of something that would not change a lot, and I think actually adds to the story, actually. I think there's a lot of added tension there because they don't get to be together.
Mm-hmm.
And also they have parallel stories. Like, imagine at the end of the series, they're both weakened in the power and they come together. And it's like, we've both been through this thing that really a handful of women have experienced in the world. And like, that's when they come back together. I love that.
Ridima, first of all, if you guys are not following her, do that. Great book too.
Yes.
Love by Matt so much. I can get behind her too. I think it fits. I think honestly, gay characters get more representation than bi characters do.
Yes.
I think that's true.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, he could be a pansexual king as well. He could be like, I don't know if any of you guys watch Torchwood. It's like a spinoff of Doctor Who, and it has God, why can't I think of his name? The hot one who plays Captain Jack. And there's a line where they're like, he'll shag anything if it's beautiful enough. Like, that's kind of how I see Matt. He will shag anything if it is willing and gorgeous. Like, and that's gorgeous to him, which is pretty much anything. Like,
it's funny in the books. Like, I never know when Matt's fucking. It's like they're always talking about how Matt's such a ladies' man and he's been like canoodling with this woman. And I'm like, are they banging? I genuinely never know.
He was just dangling on his knee.
It's just so vague all the time. Like, it seems like he doesn't have that much experience and he's just kind of snuggling with these women for the most part. That's how I read it. But it's funny because that's
how Robert Jordan writes it, though. I mean, he doesn't deliberately. It's very different from his Conan books, by the way, where he is very explicit. But in these books,
I'm also told he's very explicit and not very good at it.
Well, yeah, he just goes very vanilla.
Like even with Melindra, it's written in a way where I'm like, are they just kind of like snuggling together and that's it? Like that's how it's written. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I genuinely didn't know if they were banging when I read for the first time.
Well, I think that will change. I think that we are going to see. Yeah, I honestly would be very cool with Matt. I would be cool with Matt starting off the story being a straight male, at least in his head, and having that change over the course of time as he's exposed. I would be cool with that. Not understanding that he was bi and discovering it. Right? Maybe not. I mean, what you understand what I'm getting at? Like, I would be cool with that. I just think anything that it doesn't need to be the focus of the show. It doesn't need to be central to Matt's character. It doesn't need to be like this major story arc that we're changing. Just have it be there.
And I think
honestly, they could get Matt's "oh my god, I'm bisexual" like realization in like one shot.
Yeah, and
they do it right, and then we just move on.
Yep.
And having Rafe in charge, I really think that's going to be the case. I think he's smart enough and understands the importance of it enough that he's not going to make it the focus. He's going to, because the point is not to have a gay character as the center of the story. The point is to see a gay character. Yeah, the point is to see let Matt fuck. Oh, I like that. Let him fuck. Yeah, I think they will do it in a way that is smart and serves the story.
Okay, I'm not sure I can get behind this one, but it is kind of funny.
I don't know if I like that. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, somebody suggested that Matt realizes he's bi right after beating Galad and Gawain.
Just put that up there.
That one, that's a good one.
Cute.
I like that.
Okay. Not to disrupt this, we'll come back to we're going to keep going with this conversation. I think it's time for our next celebrity here.
Yes.
Oh. Pot on Fane.
Danny DeVito is Pot on Fane.
Right? Who else is...
You know what? Danny DeVito is Chell Vannon. I think that could work.
I could he's a little old. Chell Vannon. Okay.
I see a Pot on Fane.
Fane.
I mean...
Oh, what about Weirman?
Yes. He would be a great Weirman. Yes. I think that's it.
That's it. I like it.
Well. Jenny, lesbian nerdy, said Danny DeVito's Galad.
Yes.
For sure.
But I think... Here we go.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Who he could be? Herod Fell, too.
He could also be, what's his face? Basil Gill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, any innkeeper, really.
Yeah, somebody said Almond Bunt.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Can you imagine him with Turok fighting Rand?
Good. That's good.
Picture him fighting Rand with a sword.
Oh god, that'd be amazing.
Okay, next one. Here we go. Let's do a more serious one.
Oh, we can't do anyone who's been. Oh yeah, okay.
Henry Cavill. Who would he be?
I guess Galad.
Yeah, I mean the obvious answer is Galad, but everybody's going to say.
I honestly think he would be a great. I don't think he's too old for Galad. I mean, first of all, Galad is 30 years old. Like it's not, and I don't think Galad has to be 30 years old.
Yeah, I think
honestly, I think he can play younger anyway.
I think he's a Galad.
He fits Galad to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I could also get behind this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I see Demander. I generally picture him a little older, but I can see it.
Like I could get behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, I wouldn't be upset about that one either. Like I honestly feel like Henry Cavill could have been a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
Like he could have been a lot of people.
Since so many people in the books are described as insanely good looking.
Mm-hmm.
He Guido Kane. I'm joking.
Yeah, it's like the one person he couldn't be.
I could see this too.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
How cool would it be if he actually was Moradin?
That would be. That's a good choice,
That would be
actually. I
that
like
would be
that.
insane.
He's a huge fantasy fan. So
I love that.
okay, here
Yeah,
we go.
he's a big fucking nerd. Ha!
Okay.
Who is Snoop Dogg? I'm gonna go with the Golem.
I love that. That's fun.
He's
We can't do anyone who's been cast.
he's
Nope.
the Ogier boss. What's his name? Master
Elder Hammond.
Yeah.
I actually think he'd be a fun Valen Luca.
Actually, that would be hilarious.
That like
Yeah,
that
Snoop
to
Dogg
me,
with
Valen
Valen
Luca,
Luca?
just, like kind of out there. Yeah,
Or Tom Maryland.
that's fun.
I mean, he is a bard of sorts, right?
That's fun.
Where did I go?
Senbui. That'd be fun.
Okay, here we go. Another one. Let's do
Oh my god. Okay.
Cher. Who is Cher?
Yeah.
I love how this cuts
She's
off
one of the
only Brian.
Forsaken for sure. She's
Masana.
Mogedion.
Mogideon.
I like that. I like that. Although
Actually, you want to know what? No, I think that Masana might be the better one.
Because of like the big hair, right?
Yeah, and she's just like, I don't know, she seems more chill.
Well, I like this one.
Nesta. Not Galena.
I could see Galena.
Or a Katarine.
By
I
the
know why I
way-
see Cher as Black Aja.
Okay, we're gonna come back to Galena because I want to talk about Galena in a second. But in fact, let's do that real quick. Okay, back to our serious subject. We're gonna bounce back and forth in true ADHD fashion from like funny shit to serious stuff for a second.
It's how we do.
The
Uh-huh.
gay characters in the Wheel of Time outside of the ones that Sanderson wrote are for the most part evil lesbians,
Are they? But I mean, yeah. I
Like
also
the-
don't know if
like
you could really
Galena?
call.
right? Like
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
like,
No, the Red Aja is like. Yeah, it's a weird way to tie things together there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't like I don't feel like that's probably great.
I agree.
Well,
know?
and also like the idea that it's at least implied that a good number of the women in the Red Aja are gay and they're militant, like it goes into the whole like lesbian separatist thing, which is fine if you're a lesbian separatist, but like you don't stereotype all gay women that way because there
No.
are many lesbians who are perfectly fine with men. You know, it's like it's another stereotype.
Yeah,
You know?
that's the thing, and I almost that's the one issue I have with the way Robert Jordan wrote it. Is I feel like in a sense he was trying to be progressive, but on the flip side of that, I think in the same way that I think he failed with Halima, I think he failed miserably at trying to be progressive for his time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like he included the characters, but he played them out as complete stereotypes. Anyways,
Yeah,
I'm
I
sorry.
mean, like you tried.
Yeah, you tried. We'll I guess we'll never know. Okay,
Oh,
Robert Pattinson.
Forsaken. May actually, nah, he's too young for Robin. I guess like an Asmodean.
I could see Asmodean.
He could
Yeah.
do Asmodean.
He's
For
got-
some
he could be
reason,
the quiet,
Moradin jumped
plucking
in my
heart.
head for him too.
I think he'd be a great.
I could see
Moradin.
Moradin.
I think he'd be a great Moradin. I see Asmodean. I see Gawain, Aram.
I've got to take care of one. I'm gonna be right back.
Okay.
Right back.
Have
Right
fun.
back. Right back.
You are fired.
Womp womp.
Womp. You know what we
We had
never
a good
did?
run.
We never did, Jess, while he's gone, and
Hmm.
I forgot because our ADHD caught up with us.
Yeah, what?
Who would you be from the Wheel of Time? Chat, who would
I don't know.
Jess
Who do you
be
think I'd be?
if you cast Jess in the Wheel of Time? Who would she be? I think you could be Belladonna the Busty Bard.
I could be Belladonna the Busty Bard. Just some rando cleavage bitch in a bar somewhere.
By the way, everybody freaking loved that. Everybody that I've talked to
Oh, yeah?
on the podcast was like, that was the best part of the podcast was
Awesome.
Belladonna the Lusty Bards. So, by the way, if you have not listened to our podcast, first of all, go to what's on the banner there, thegreatblight.com/Tarval and After Dark, and check out our podcast. It's really entertaining, I think. And I think we've gotten a good wear the wig. Jennifer, it costs money to wear the wig, if that's what you're talking
Oh,
about.
I thought we got another one.
No.
I'm
Did I
getting
see
a
it?
lot of Baron.
Okay. You're
So
getting
I'm
Varen? I could
flattered.
do Varen. I would be all for Varen.
Flattered.
Jess is Varen. Elite
Jess as
is the
Baron.
queen.
I love that.
Loris. I can see you carrying around a spoon, smacking people.
I mean, that is the story of my childhood. I got paddled with a wooden spoon, so
That's a good one. Satala Anon.
yeah, that
I
could
can
work.
get behind that.
Whoever the head of the kin is, that would be a cool part.
Rihanna? No. Who's the head of the kin? I never remember the Just as better than I ever said.
And by the way, welcome to Recappa's Warder.
This is Pumpkin My Warder.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet baby.
When
Say
is
hi to
your
everyone.
husband going to make an appearance
hi to everyone.
on the stream on your channel ever?
He's right there. He's Tivana. He's the voice of Tivana.
Tell your husband that he's wrong about Man of Steel and that it is objectively not a terrible movie. It's just not a great movie.
You're not gonna sell that with him.
I'm just telling him he's wrong.
You're
He's
not
wrong.
gonna. That's gonna be a hard sell with him. Pumpkin hates Man of Steel.
Here we go.
She's always talking about it.
Oh yes,
I
would,
like that. That's fun.
I would fuck with Mr. Sluhan for sure.
I like
You
it.
can't hear. Yeah, he's talking about you.
I'm totally talking about him.
He's like, is he talking about me? I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, totally. Okay, I think it's time for another person. Here we go.
Oh,
A little blast from the
Elvira.
past. A little Elvira here.
okay.
Who would Elvira
Okay.
be?
Barrelane.
Totally.
I like that.
Can you
I
see,
like
like,
Barrelane.
Emo Barrelane.
I can see her as
Yeah,
Barrelane.
Goth Barrelane for sure.
Or Lanfear.
Getting a lot
Yeah.
of Mogedion.
Mogedion is probably
Grendel.
my answer. I got to go with Mogedion.
Grendel.
I think
Somebody
Mogedion.
said
she's-
Vandine.
Vandine.
Oh, you just got paid, son.
Jennifer, you're the best.
Hey.
That means I have to put the wig on.
Yes, it does.
I should probably. Well, you know what? If
Do you
I
not
put
like the
Elvira
wig?
up on the screen,
Do you not like the wig?
oh, it's not so.
Oh,
much
somebody said Thailand. She could definitely do Thailand.
I have to do it different
Yeah.
this time. Like I'm gonna go for the mullet.
Oh, now you look
Nice.
like Joe Exotic.
That's the idea, right?
I like that you have options with it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you like the wig?
Dude. Pumpkin approves.
Pumpkin likes it.
See here. Look at the demand. Look at the demands. Jennifer just buys me. She makes me wear the wig. Who would I be wearing the wig, and who would I be without the wig in the show?
Wearing the wig.
Wearing the wig. If I'm wearing like this, who would I be?
Val and Luca. Everyone's Val and Luca, but like probably.
Oh,
I don't think I'm the showman. That
Actually,
Bond-
over. I feel like that could be an over haircut.
the beard probably doesn't go well with over.
You'd have to shave, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
no, I would put you as an Aiel.
How about this one?
Samael. Maybe a tinker. Maybe like Rain. No, he'd have gray hair. A novice. Do you want me to take
Somebody said Bale Doman. I could definitely see Bale Doman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I
Share
think
one
she's-
side. Share one side.
She's not.
Brigida.
Pergita. Oh, I like this one. I'll just be a Mies.
I love that.
Okay, a Mies, by the way. Oh, a Copland or a Conger. That's me.
Ooh.
A Mies is an underrated badass in the show or in the books.
Sure.
Mhm.
And I want a Mies to get more time, and I want a Mies to truly be a badass.
Yeah,
because
I love
she's
Elise.
got like the best of all worlds. I put her on my top 10 like channelers for the light because like not only is she a dreamer, she's like she's super powerful. Like she's a dreamer, she's a super strong channeler, she's a maiden of the spear, so she can kick your ass, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
And she's a leader of her people. Like she's one of the few people who I all around would not want to fuck with.
Yeah,
Honest is the total package.
She is.
I
She's
want to
really
see
the
some
total
good Teleron Riyadh fights.
Shit,
yes.
yes.
How do
I
you
can't wait to
envision
see Teleron Riyadh?
Do you envision
Your
it like
pattern is obvious, child. Oh, so good.
do you envision it like Doctor Strange mirror dimension, like Inception shit, where they're like folding, or is it like just making stuff appear? And like, how do you envision it in the show?
Trying to think if there's a movie or a show that does something like how I envision it. I guess Doctor Strange isn't a bad example.
I love that answer, by the way. I'm sorry. I'm just wanting to make sure we keep the chat in here. Ipa says, I wish Amis had killed Grendel after I agree. I wanted Amis to do something badass. Because I like
That's
Amis.
the great thing about doing the show. You know, we can hope that they're gonna do it the way that we wanted. Take the opportunities that we're not taking.
Right?
I like that too, but I'll say I would be disappointed if they took that away from Aviendha. Because I don't think enough of our main characters got to do stuff like that. Like, how many times did Min almost stab a Forsaken?
My
it was just, it was nice to actually see Aviendha get to do that. But I like the idea of Amis doing something badass.
I want Amis to kill somebody.
Sure.
But then again, keep in mind, I want some of the changes I want. Like, I want Padan Fain to kill people. Like, I want him to be terrifying. I want Padan Fain to kill Marin and Bran Alvear in front of the town. I want it to
I
get
don't
dark.
want that. I can't handle that. My poor heart.
That's the idea. I want a red wedding moment with Padan
I'm already
Fain
traumatized. Oh God.
Because if he does that, like, aren't you more like? Don't you feel like Padan Fain is just kind of okay, blah? And there's so much potential for him being, because once you get past the Great Hunt, it's like he's very tame. Like, he's nailing Murdral to the door, and then all of a sudden he shows up and jumps out of the dark and slashes around a dagger and disappears. Like, that is a little anticlimactic for me. I just want him to be a serious danger. And I've already said my other big change, and this is one that gets people all riled up. I want Rand to kill Min when Semirog captures him. I want her to die.
I hear that.
Now, I'm okay if he balefires Semirog and she comes back, but I want the death. I want it to feel really, really like there's no way Rand's coming back from this.
The problem, I hear that. I talked about this in a video because I hear that. I think narratively, when it starts to happen and then it doesn't happen, it's almost like, okay, you weren't willing to go there. But I think doing that with Min is a particular problem because, like I just mentioned, she's constantly almost doing something cool, and then to just kill her off for the sake of Rand's story is, if you're going to kill a character like that, she's got to have her own place in the story, and she can't just be
Which I think you could.
I think you could too. Yeah, I think because I hear you. I think that when they do that and it doesn't happen, it's like, oh, I was really like starting to go there in my head, and then I didn't have to. So yeah, I hear that.
I hate the trope that people use where women are brutalized for the sake of a man's storyline. I fucking hate it.
That's true.
So I hope he doesn't kill Min because fuck that.
I wasn't thinking of it from that tone. I was just thinking in terms of, because like she's brutalized anyway, right?
Well, yes.
My point on is it like she's choked, she's scared to death, she feels like that. It's like if
we could do without all of that stuff actually.
If Min disappears, but like okay,
what if Rand killed Tam?
Right?
I would hate that, but I would rather he did that than than
I
Nin,
think
just
Rand
because-
killing Tam makes more. I mean, like that's a way to because I actually think the idea there's this constant threat. It's a gun that never gets fired in the series where we're gonna make Rand. We're gonna turn him so that he's just so dark and like he basically becomes numb. But if we got to see him kill someone he actually loved, that is that threat fulfilled. And I actually think it would be interesting to see. I'm not saying we should kill men, but I think the idea of the Shadow getting Rand to kill someone he loves.
I would be cool with both of them at once. So I mean,
here's what I'm getting out of this.
How about he just kills everyone?
That Nae'Blis just wants everyone to die.
No, hear me out. I do, because I feel like one of the problems with the villains in the Wheel of Time is they don't make a big enough impact. Okay, like go back to Game of Thrones. You hate Ramsay Bolton. You hate Joffrey. Now, again, go back to that trope of brutalizing women. I don't mean to go there, but like we hate Joffrey because he also cut Ned Stark's head off. Okay, like you hate those. Cersei. You hate Cersei.
Well, I love to hate Cersei.
You love to hate Cersei.
Everybody loved to hate Cersei.
The problem
I didn't even watch the show, and I did.
Well, the problem you deal with Wheel of Time is you have a lot of essentially ineffective villains. Okay, and what I want is those villains to be more impactful, and for that to happen, the body count in Wheel of Time is way too low.
I think Grendel should have killed Perrin.
And well, I'm okay with Rand. The reason I say I'm okay with Rand killing Tam and Min, and then bringing them back through Balefire of Cimarog, it happens, but they're not gone. Okay,
I see. Okay,
I want that to happen. I would not mind happening that to Rand or to Min, just to keep if they don't want to make too many changes from the story. But like, I want it to feel like Cimarog is crazy as and like, I want it to feel super impactful. Like, I hate that woman, right? And like right now, we hear all these stories of Cimarog, but we don't see Cimarog do anything awful. Okay, I want her to do something awful to people that we care about, because then it makes me hate her more, which gets me more invested in the show. That's the issue, that the main issue I have with the villains of the Wheel of Time. I don't care if he kills them in that scene or not. My point on it is, in general, I want them to do things that are horrible. I want Padon Fane to kill characters we like, not just Perrin's family off screen, because it's not impactful when I find that out.
You didn't sob when Perrin's family, who you'd never met?
I sobbed at Fail's reaction to Perrin when that happened, actually. Like, I actually think that's a very endearing moment for Fail, believe it or not. I do. But all that being said, like, it still doesn't have the impact that it should, in my opinion. So I want the Forsaken, I want Padon Fane, I want these people to be terrifying. Okay, the fact that Grendel is really the only one that ever does anything of any meaning,
even then
it's kind of iffy.
She's foiled.
Right? Like, okay, it's time for the wig off.
Oh no,
it's hot. But like, even then, like, I just want them to have more of an impact. I don't necessarily think we need to kill off main characters necessarily, and I don't think anybody necessarily needs to die. But I want characters that we care about to do awful, like to have something bad happen, because it does invest people in stories. That's part of the way the stories work. And with TV shows, you almost need it to a degree. Like, there's just such a load. Even the people that die, Moiraine comes back.
Right.
Like,
I hope a major character gets turned.
I'd be all for that too.
I think
somebody's a dark
I would fuck with that.
That's another thing that never got fired, I feel like I was terrified of that reading these books, and it never happened. I mean, it happens to people you don't care about, but like when we see those visions of Darth Nynaeve, as I call her, like, what if that happened? Why did they? It was almost bad that they showed it, but like it didn't actually happen, because that would have been.
We have another special guest joining us. Everybody, welcome the Innkeeper.
Hey,
not at the Dusty Wheel.
Yes,
welcome. That's right.
What's
welcome. Up? Thank you. Is it Wednesday? Oh no, it's
no. Although I think we're going to be doing this again tomorrow night. But
is that what's happening? Yeah, exactly.
Well, for those of you, I'm going to be on the Dusty Wheel tomorrow night, folks, and with the Innkeeper here. Now, you just got done on the treadmill.
I did.
So-
I did.
Good for you.
Getting all, he's
it
got.
was-
If he's
it was
going to
good.
fit into that
Work on that
man-tier
fitness.
figure,
That's right.
The man.
That's right. I'm prepping for 4 years from now when we hit 50K.
well, real quick, in case you missed this earlier, I know you didn't, but I still want to do it again. I just want to show everybody this real quick. That's an artist's conception of what you look like in costume.
Oh God.
Well, I don't think I'm going for that look. I don't know. I think it's definitely be something black, you know.
It looks good. It's a good look.
I don't know if you were caught up on what we were talking about, like ways to make villains impactful.
Okay.
In the show, and I was giving my theories on, or my hope that Padan Fain kills Bran Alvear in front of the town, or like I want something off. I just want the villains to do something that actually hurts the main characters. Not that I like seeing that happen, but it's a more compelling story, in my opinion, when the bad guys actually succeed at something. And I feel like the Wheel of Time, a lot of it is just the bad guys being so bad at being bad for almost the whole story. Like,
I wonder if that's why I like Lanfear a bit, is at least it feels like she's doing something, and you get to see a little bit of that. Like, it seems like she has some plans, and you actually believe that something's going on, and she's, you know, whereas other ones you're just like, they don't have any plans. They're just like the Ravine. Who cares about him? Diamond Dread, no one cares. So,
well, and that was one of the things that I have always kind of thought about this story, is that it's a really good thing that the Forsaken didn't have their shit together, because there's no reason why the side of the light should have won, because they were a fucking mess.
Yeah.
So, you know, just seeing everybody in general having the Forsaken actually doing something is going to raise the stakes. You know what I mean? Like, I just never felt like there was that much at stake, because they were all just, it was clown shoes for so much of it.
Yeah.
Well, that's again, I don't, people like I'm latching on, like those were two easy low hanging fruit moments where Padan Fain killing somebody in the Two Rivers that we cared about, right? That we met, that we cared about. And then number two was Rand killing Min instead of just choking her for a minute. Now, if you want to say bring her back with the balefire, whatever it would be, but I liked that moment only because I felt those were two easy low hanging fruit moments where if that happened, people would be devastated. And that's, as long as you don't overplay that, it's a good thing. If you feel like if it's Walking Dead and every episode somebody dies that you care about, well, okay, then it's a little overplayed. But I feel like there's something to be said about impactful villains. So
yeah.
What are your thoughts? I mean, what if there was a change you guys would make to make the villains more impactful? What would it be?
Sorry, go ahead, Matt.
I was just saying, I would take somebody I would take the Game of Thrones approach, right? I would take somebody important out early. You know, I think you have to do that. If you don't lose anyone that you feel like some attachment to, or is of some importance in the first season, then you've lost the audience, in my opinion. Like it's like, okay, these people suck. They're not good at their jobs at being villains. And this is how this is going to be some kind of child, you know, like story where, you know, none of the good people die. So I think you have to do that. Like if they don't do that, I'll be really shocked.
Who would that be then? A character that we don't know, or like?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I wasn't ready to give you an answer about who. I'm just saying they have to do it. Let me think on that. That's a great question.
We should kill Senbui.
Senbui.
Would we?
I think what you'd have to do is you'd have to introduce someone that was seemingly important with the Logain storyline, and you'd have to kind of build up some, you know, empathy for that character, and then take him out at the end. Like there's something there, because you obviously can't take out any of the EF5, and you can't take Lan and Moiraine. So
I think you got one that we're leaving out that would make an impact on people, but you'd have to give them time to grow a little bit. Tam Al'Thor. Now, I think it's too tropey to kill off the Chosen One's dad at the beginning and leave him on his own, and like that's kind of tropey. But
no, I don't think it's. I think it's impactful, but
it would be.
It's too obvious.
What about Tom, killing Tom early on? I mean, I don't feel like that would be fun. I think people would be upset by that death.
Yeah, I could see the Tom one. You'd have to kind of keep him with the group. You'd have to not do that, like introduce him one episode, lose him the next. So you'd have to have him stay with them, and maybe go to the end and get killed at the very end or something, maybe in Faldara. I don't know. So, yeah, Tom could be an interesting one. But again, they'd have to change the storyline significantly to give us that payoff or that buy-in, I guess.
I'm struggling to think that we're going to see it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm struggling to think of there being anything that really truly makes story sense to kill off that early. I think as you move on, like, I would be totally cool with Moraine staying dead. Because I feel like it would make Moraine more impactful on the story if she did die for what she, like, for her life goal. Like, I would be cool with that. Now, I'm not saying or the other take they can do is actually give Moraine something meaningful to do when she comes back. Much more meaningful, I should say. But I could be on board with Moraine dying early on. Not like early on, but you know what I mean. What are your thoughts, Jess? You look like you're thinking hard.
I always look like I'm thinking hard. Because thinking is hard. I don't know. I hate the idea of killing anybody off, but you make a really good point that, and I already said the stakes need to be higher. I would hesitate to kill off Tam, and maybe this is just my personal preference, but the moment that he has with Rand is obviously very important because that's when he becomes like ascends to Nirvana or whatever. But then he's also integral in helping to lead the army.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I like that storyline for him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like it sort of showing, that he was at one time a soldier, that kind of thing. So I would hate to lose that storyline because I really like it. But yeah, I mean, Egwene's family could potentially be impactful, but the thing is like, is it going to be impactful if we kill off Egwene's family at the very beginning?
If you set them up as main characters, it might sort of like, I mean, go back to Game of Thrones first episode. They push Bran out the window, right? Like in the first episode, like, and you're like, what?
Well, yeah,
like,
yeah,
which I was fine with because I hated him from the very beginning. But, and I mean, I'm not going to lie, killing Ned Stark was effective. I never saw the show because it was too gory for me, but I read the books and I threw the book across the room when they did that. I'm like, set him up. This entire book is the protagonist. The series is about this guy. And then he fucking killed him. And I was beside myself. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that would work. I don't have a solution or a suggestion of any kind.
I just don't feel like there's anything low hanging from the first book. I feel like everything. Go ahead, Brian. What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, I think, because we're talking about ways to make the Forsaken more effective, more threatening. And in this world with compulsion, I think there are ways that the Forsaken can be effective and devastating without necessarily killing off characters that we need later. Like the example that comes to my mind is in Fires of Heaven when Nynaeve faces Moghedien in Teleron Riyadh and she gets the Adom on her. And Moghedien is making threats before that happens that every time she's going to turn Nynaeve into a horse and she's going to compel Nynaeve, and basically she's going to compel Nynaeve for the rest of her life. What if Moghedien won that fight? And it's possible someone could release Nynaeve from that situation down the line, depending on what the rules on the show are. Ooh. But, what if we spend half the series with one of our main characters working for the Shadow and we don't necessarily know it? I think there are ways the Forsaken can make a fatal blow without killing characters we need. I think there are cool ways to do that.
I think that would actually be more interesting than
love that idea.
Well, because they threaten it and then it doesn't happen. She says to her, she's like, I'm going to do this to you for the rest of your life. And then it doesn't happen.
What if it cuts away, like where we think Nynaeve got away, but in reality, We're
I
only
love
seeing
that.
it from her perspective, where she doesn't understand she was compulsed,
Right.
and it's a big reveal a season later.
That would be cool if the POV doesn't let us know. That's cool. Yeah.
I think there's some cool things they can play with that do, like you said, they are impactful without necessarily just offing somebody.
Yeah,
I mean, what if you off they won't do it. They won't do it. But what if you off Nynaeve?
I'd rather see her turned. But
you want to know what? They would have
but
a fucking riot. There would be.
They would. They would. I'm not saying they should do
Yeah.
it. I don't think they will because they call her. I mean, not that they can't. Anyway, they call her a series regular. You know, I anticipate that she's coming back. When she talks about going back and filming, like she has this belief that she's not. I mean, or she's at least portraying it. So, you know, I guess I would not.
Very serious question here. Who has the best turned calves in Wheel of Time? Hot takes only.
The innkeeper.
Our good friend, the Goblin. If you say that, though, you might have to prove it.
Yeah, someday 50K.
50K, you're going to prove
Manfred will approve the calves. So that's right. Manfred
best turned calves in Wheel. I mean, I think it's got to be Galad, right? If we're talking about
I'm
Wheel
gonna
of Time.
say, I'm gonna say Bran Elvira never misses leg day.
Bran Elvira.
okay. I like
That's what I'm
that.
gonna say.
So
I'm
he's a
gonna
little
give it to
top
Loyal. Yeah, I like Loyal.
Loyal, huh?
I'm gonna say the green man.
He's like the green man. Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, I just imagine Loyal. You just won't see him. I don't know. Maybe he's just too shy. But, yeah.
Too shy to show those beautiful calves.
I mean, didn't Taylor show off his turned calves in?
Yeah, look, I'm his father, and I don't think he has that great of calves. I'm saying.
Okay.
So.
Now Daniel answered his own question here.
Correct answer is Bella.
That was a good
actually,
answer.
I mean, that's a solid
that is
answer.
a good answer.
Yeah.
Now, here's
I
a better
guess.
question, and I maybe I'm
Where's calves?
ignorant here, but this is a good question here. What are turned calves?
That is a good question.
Like
Cut, baby.
Yeah, I imagine just like really
Sorry,
defined.
super defined calf? Okay, is that what that means?
Yeah.
I
But
can-
it could mean like,
like
Well, I
Daniel,
think
by the way, if you would like to join us on here, you're welcome to. Just send me a message and I'll show you. I'll shoot you a link if you'd like to join us, and we'll just have a party. Don't feel the need to, but hey,
It's a party. All right.
Yeah, but I think Nynaeve would be devastating. I don't think they'll do it, but that's the one you could do. I think that's the one you could do, and you could hand off her plots to others in ways. Yes, you would miss out on probably the best romantic relationship in the series, but
the only one that I don't hate, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, but I think that would be the most devastating thing they could do, and it would be. I'm not saying they should. I'm gonna stop. Don't freak out on me, but I'm saying
right.
If they were trying to be like, you know, hit people in the gut with how dangerous the Forsaken are. Although I like this idea that Brian's posed, which is, you know, taking control of one of the main characters is more frightening. It's more frightening. So I love that aspect of it, and I would actually think that's very Wheel of Time. You know, that's very Forsaken-ish. So I'd rather see them do that than just kind of simply kill somebody. I mean, that's just not a thing, right? Nice.
Well, you know, I think
put, like, come and show up tomorrow for theories or something like that. You know, sheesh.
Hey, and show up tomorrow for theories, guys.
Well, I like where Brian's head is at with this, because like anybody can kill somebody.
Right.
It's all the other shit that's really insidious. Like it's the torture and the compulsion and the like worming their way into stuff that is really what makes them evil. Daniel's in his underwear.
I mean, I have a feeling.
I didn't anticipate green
Okay.
underwear. I feel like it's too.
I mean, he did, or is it blue underwear? Blue underwear.
Is that blue?
It's
It looks
blue.
like green. I don't know.
If you watched our, or you listened to our podcast, Daniel did reveal that he is not a boxer or a brief person, but boxer
right.
brief. So
I did hear that much.
blue boxer brief. So
I heard that much of it. I had to stop when you start talking about the breach of peace. I had to step away. I don't want anything ruined, you know. But,
yeah, don't. And guys, if you have not read Breach of Peace yet or picked up your copy of it, y'all
Do
need to
it.
get on that. Do it. It's good.
Yeah. It's good.
And honestly, it really is good. I'm not just saying that because we know Daniel. It really is a good book that I'm excited for the other ones to come out. He's already finished book 2, which I'm excited for, which from what he released today is like a continuation of something that happened in book 1 from a different perspective, which I
don't spoil it.
Which I am very excited to read.
Very excited.
No spoilers.
Great book. It's
No
really
spoilers here.
No spoilers. We're not going to talk about
no
spoilers. But you all should
Breach of
read
Peace
it.
is available on Audible right now.
Yes.
And it is
Read by
available
Michael
for
Kramer.
pre-order.
Which, by the way, if you need an Audible subscription, I know a place you can go. In the comments and the description of this video, you can get a free audiobook from Audible.
Oh.
And sign
Use
up.
it to get Breach of Peace. Everyone wins.
Yes.
Everybody should get it. It really is a
great
good book. And not to mention this, guys, like, yes, it's a good book, so there's that. But I just love supporting people from our community too. You know, and yeah, don't pirate Daniel's book, buy it. That's what I'll say. So anyways,
It's
I like
gorgeously
that. That's like
written.
it's like a saying. Don't pirate, buy it. I like it. I like
Don't
it.
pirate.
Ruth, unfortunately.
Buy it.
If you want to make sure, all joking aside, though, if you want to make sure Daniel gets the most amount of money, I think he told me to order it through paperback. So if you'd like to give Daniel more of your money, order it through paperback. You can also get it through Audible. I have both. So anyways, what were we talking? Oh, we can play this game one more time with Matt.
Yes.
So
Love it.
Matt,
I missed
here's
the
what
game.
we're doing. I think you were doing this. I'm throwing up some celebrities. I think I only have one left or 2 left.
Oh yeah.
And
I
we're
saw
going to
this.
say who you think they would be and who would be funny for them to be. Now, these last 2 are not like super crazy. So here we go.
Oh, is that Spider-Man?
Yeah.
I mean, I think this
Spider-Man.
is Gawain, right? That the obvious thing is Gawain here, right?
Gawain?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Okay. I can
I
get
feel like
behind Gawain.
he fits that idea that everyone has of Gawain. Yeah, that's
Any other
that's where I would
thoughts
go.
other than Gawain?
any of the like the young Tyrion lords that Matt plays cards with.
Sure. Yeah.
I feel like he's young
Um,
for Androl.
Oliver.
Yeah, he might be a little bit young for Andrew.
Gowan is.
Ooh, here's a good one.
Oh,
Or
what was it?
Tylen's kid or his posse. That could
What
work.
Ewan?
as well.
Yeah. What Jason said, Ewan. I like Ewan.
Yeah, I
Oh,
really
yeah.
like
Because he can play young enough.
I like Ewan Fingar. I really do.
I see
but
Ewan.
it's kind of a small role for him, but
Will Alcine.
yeah, he'd be a great.
Oh yeah.
I like
Aaron,
that.
Aaron,
like that a
Aaron,
lot.
yeah.
Okay, let me do my last one.
Ewan, why are you still here?
I keep not taking the comments down. I'm really bad at this. Okay, there we go. Miley Cyrus.
Miley. She's just being
Birgitta.
I could see Miley as Birgitta. Actually, I could really
So-
see Miley as Birgitta. She'd be the
Can
best.
she
of
act
both
her way out
worlds.
of a paper bag?
I mean, she was an actress on a long-running Disney
Yeah.
TV show.
Yeah,
It's
come on.
not-
That was
Well,
really
that
good.
was a
That's gotta
kid's
be
thing.
fun.
Does that count? I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, it
Like
was
she
still
can-
acting experience.
Hannah Montana. That's right.
Who
Yeah.
would she be?
Who would? Let's see, chat. Who would she be? Here, see. Sergeant She-Wolf does not agree with me at Birgitta.
That's a cute puppy.
Uh,
I just want to say.
yeah, well, we'll throw that back up. so we can see
Mistress
the puppy.
Alvier.
Nice puppy.
Maybe Dina.
Good puppy.
Dina. I could get behind
The
Dina.
act-
Oh, yeah,
Actual
she could be
Dina.
Dina.
The
She
actual
could be maybe one of the
Dina.
younger, like one of the novices are accepted in the tower. Maybe one of the ones that come from the Two Rivers.
Bella
Yeah.
Kaufman.
Well,
not
I mean,
Bella
again, I see
Kaufman,
people
both.
saying Nicola again, even though we already, kind of. I think she would work in the same way.
Mhm.
Liana.
She'd be a fun Black Aja sister.
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
could be
yeah,
like a
that's true.
fun, if you want to go Chesmal or even like a Katarine.
She could be Galena.
I see that.
Yeah, I could see Galena. I could totally see
Alviarin?
Galena. And then there's Grendel.
Oh, I like that.
I mean, she doesn't quite fit Grendel's descriptions. Is that a nice way of saying that?
I hope we get a large woman playing Grendel. I really hope we do.
I do too.
think the
I
way
would
she's
like
described- I would be disappointed if they didn't.
Yeah, I don't want a supermodel playing Grendel. I think that would be.
Sure.
I think I like how
Grendel
she's
is
described in the
thick.
books compared to everyone else. I think it's refreshing in the books when they just, it's like subtly done, but I think they should cast a larger person for Grendel.
I am
Oh.
100% on board with a sexually empowered fat woman. Please
Yeah.
give me that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give it. I want it.
Absolutely.
I could get behind that one.
I'll take that. I love it.
I love Queen Latifah, by the way.
Sure.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Yeah, put her anywhere in Wheel of Time. I'll take it.
Lizzo.
Yes, that'd be fun.
As long as they don't have
Lizzo.
her, like we can pull off like an Ed Sheeran moment where she just sings a song.
What if Lizzo was in Wheel of Time? I love it.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. God, I love her. I saw her in concert last fall in the before times. It was so good. Literally took us to church. It was amazing.
Love Lizzo.
Love her.
Thick.
Blame it on the juice.
Well, that's all. I should have gotten more celebrities. We'll have to do that again because that was kind of funny. Matt, because you weren't here when we did this. Who is Tiger King?
So actually, no, I was thinking about this. Who is the it's the Wolf brother, but he's turned. He's already turned the bitter meat.
Oh,
what's his name? Noel?
No, is it?
Oh,
somebody in chat will know this.
Oh,
right?
you talk about
When
Slayer?
turned
No.
like he's
like as he's like he's become more wolf than man.
the one at the end.
No, not
Boundless.
Noel.
Boundless.
No,
You're talking about
Gnome.
No,
Yeah, there we go. There we
no.
go.
No.
Yeah, Gnome. He would make an awesome gnome. I would love Joe Exotic as Gnome.
yeah.
I don't think that
see
makes
that.
use of his great acting abilities.
Oh,
Sergeant She-Wolf says Nard.
Nard.
Narg. No, Gnome. Come on, it
I mean,
fits with that picture.
I'm
just
just
saying.
having fun with my Matt, I have one other question. What do you think of this?
This is
I laugh every
I feel
fucking time you do that.
this is somewhat payback when I taught Watt on Prime how to say Nae'Blis, isn't it? I get it.
You taught them incorrectly, and if they screw it up for the show,
Is
I
it
taught them
Nebbles
how
or
to-
Nubbles?
it's Nae'Blis.
Because I've heard Nubbles and I've heard Nebbles.
Look, I don't have control in order to show you the right interpretation or the pronunciation here. So, but
Just because Robert Jordan pronounced it wrong.
Nubbles.
If you guys
No,
aren't
it's
all
the
aware,
character
where
he
this is all
created
coming
wrong.
from is what was it pronounced, Matt? Like wasn't it like Nubliss or something?
Yeah, Nae'Blis. Yeah, Nae'Blis.
That's genuine?
Yeah. Well, because it was at Dragon Con, and what he would do this often at book signings where he would say, "Okay, ask me how to pronounce something," because basically he hated how everyone got his pronunciations wrong. Like they would say stuff, and he'd be like, "That's not how you say it." Like tame bothered him to no end.
What is it supposed to be?
And Taim.
Okay.
So
Nichols.
like people would go up and be like, "Yeah, when Tame does this," and he'd be like, "No, it's Taim." And so that was one of the ones. Someone said Nae'Blis, and he goes, "No, Nae'Blis." And that's what was recorded.
Then why did you
So-
spell it like that, dude?
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
he can't get mad about that
on
one.
himself. He spells everything.
He can't
I
get
know.
mad about that
Look
one.
at- I still say
you have no
Nae'Blis.
rules because it's Nynaeve, right?
Try my book.
And that's an AE.
I thought it, but
Look,
it's
yeah.
I go by. Here's what I go by, and I know they were not given direction. For the most part, I go with the most consistent pronunciations from Kate Redding and Michael Kramer.
Mhm.
Oh, did they
Because
say Nae'Blis? Did they say Nae'Blis?
They do say
Is that how they
Nae'Blis,
say
yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
That's why I go
Yeah,
with
yeah.
them because, they're inconsistent too. But I don't. If you ask, I mean, you have asked them about this. They
Yep.
weren't really given direction on how to pronounce anything, right?
Nope.
They just kind of made it up as they went, which is why it changed all the time.
Yeah, I think like Joel just said, I think with Nynaeve, I used to say Nineve or something like that.
That's what I used to say. I used to think that in my head when I read it until I heard the audiobooks. It's like, wait, that makes actual sense that it's pronounced that way. So
I used to say Enwin. Enwin is how I used to pronounce Egwene. I said Enwin. That's how I used to always say it until I can't remember for a long time, until I finally heard it. And I was like, oh, yeah. I don't pronounce anything correct. I used to say Karheen. That's how I used to say Kyrian. Yeah.
Well,
Kyrian was one of the ones where I flipped back to the glossary or whatever like 50 times to figure it out. Because
I never looked at the glossary. I don't think I ever remember when I was a kid kind of staring at the glossary. I don't think I ever anticipated ever telling anyone that I read these books, first of all, or that I would ever talk to anybody that read the books. And I was in no need of trying to figure out how to say them. It was just like whatever was my headcanon. It was like my own little world, and that's it, So it wasn't until hitting the internet was like, oh, people care about this stuff. And then at first, even on the internet, you're just writing it, right? You're not even talking. So you still kind of believed. It wasn't until, going to a convention or, meeting up with somebody, and then you say the words to each other the first time, and you're like, that person's wrong. And so you have to you really needed an authority to tell you, right? It was like Robert Jordan, literally people like, no, I heard Robert Jordan say it this way. And you're like, get it on tape because I'm not changing. Like Tame, I held on to Tame for the longest time. And then I finally had to say Taim. It's fine.
Tame. I did Tame too.
I had to learn Taim. Yeah,
I still have problems pronouncing. In my videos, I know how it's pronounced, but when I'm reading it, I will stumble through it 3 or 4 times. Abara. I will always be like, when I'm just reading it, without thinking, or I'll say it wrong, and then I'll have to damn it, go back and do it again. Ibara? No. I keep doing that over and over again. It's Abara, right? Parent.
I thought it was. I don't know. I always say Ibara.
Ibara.
I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't looked that one up. No one's made fun of me for that one in chat, so I haven't cared. That's basically what happens. Is if I say it in a live show, people in the chat make fun of me, then I go look it up. And if they don't, I never care.
I was totally on board with that, Jenny.
Oh, Ace. I don't think I ever said Ace. I don't know. I can't remember.
Yep.
Ace today. Maybe. Yeah.
I said I. I mean, again, it's not. I just go with Michael Kramer and Kate Redding.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like a safe bet.
Did they say Ace today?
No, they went I said I. They said I said
I. So you went with them sometimes.
But you can't go with them all the time because it's Mogideon and Mogadine.
Yeah.
And,
that one's tough. Yeah.
Kate goes back and forth on it a lot. And then what was the other one? Moradin. They do. She goes back and forth with anything that ends in IN, goes back and forth with Dean and Din and a lot. Anyways.
Well, guys, you feel for them, right? You feel for them.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine trying to record all those things and getting you got everything right, and then you get that one name wrong. Oh man.
Imagine just being an authority on the names without expecting to be one. Just be just pick, and you decide how everyone's going to pronounce this.
I have decided.
A lot of pressure.
Here's how it will be pronounced. I wish I had that power actually. Which, by the way, I got to tell you again. Anytime, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the Wheel of Time fanboy in me, but to go back to Breach of Peace without spoilers, Kate Redding and Michael Kramer narrate it for the audiobook, which is awesome.
So awesome.
And it's mostly Kate Redding, okay, in the book. I'll just say that. But it is so cool hearing them narrate anything. They're so good at what they do. I know there are other great audio. They're to me my favorite audiobook readers. That's my 2 cents. So
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So great. Pick up Breach of Peace even just for that. Guys, I think we have been, this is my longest live stream ever because we got talking. It's been an hour and 50 minutes.
Oh, so time flies.
I think it's about time to call it a night. Thank you for joining me today in a very impromptu manner, guests. I got home early tonight. And
he sent us a Discord message 30 minutes ahead, hey, you want to do a live stream? We're like, sure, fuck it.
I thought it had been sent yesterday and I missed it. I was like, oh no, that's in an hour. I can actually do that. This is cool.
It was honestly,
it was good.
I got home earlier tonight than I thought I would. And I was like, you know what? I haven't done a live stream in a while. Let's pop on and do a live stream. And
you've been so excited to try this new streaming service.
Yes, I love it.
And it's amazing.
I'm really impressed. This is cool.
Really
you can do.
Yeah.
Just to give you an idea, look at what the stuff I can do here.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And
you still didn't add the part where we're doing a live show tomorrow talking about Wheel of Time theories. And you're still not putting the cute version of that graphic up. I'm really disappointed.
You look great in it.
Matt is allowed
it's a
to
beautiful
look cute.
picture.
That you will not see that much cleavage at 50K is all I'm saying. That's like 100K kind of cleavage, so
that kind of cleavage is going to cost you.
that's going to cost you. There you go.
Oh, cool.
I will be on the Dusty Wheel tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be talking theories, right?
Yeah.
Matt, why don't you
Prime
promote
theories.
the show?
Yeah, One on Prime theories. We're just gonna dig into. We know what we know now. What's been unblurred. What's been rumored. What the news is. We've been told a lot. All these little first look promos they put out. We have a ton of information. So I just want to break down like what are our most favorite common or uncommon theories that we have for the show coming up. It should be fun.
I'm excited.
Love
We
it.
always have a good conversation.
Love that.
Yeah,
I
we're
want to
gonna say we're gonna have Wheel of Time Theory. He's another YouTuber that hasn't. I don't think he's been on any of the shows, so he's.
I haven't
jump in
interacted with
us,
him.
so-
I've talked to him a few times. He's really cool. And I love his accent.
Yeah, he's gonna be on, and also Sarah, Celtic Mist from Watt series will be on with us too. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Thank you, Village Mattress. Except you spell
Hey,
well.
it's Nae'Blis, so it doesn't really matter how you spell it.
I guess.
Oh, I
he's
do
got
like-
the quoted.
By the way, I like this Nae'Blis. Yeah, that does work. That
You can
works.
combine that.
You know,
I like it.
it's Nae'Blis, but you can say Nae'Blis. I like it. You know.
Well, thank you. And guys, one last time.
I keep wanting.
The
Look,
music
it's
is
so much
like
better
that.
now.
It's good.
You have the banner across it. I'd totally, do that as many times as you'd like.
Oh, I forgot. I forgot. He tipped. I have to put the wig on.
I was gonna say. Thank
I can
God
put it
I feel
on. Is
better.
it? This is kind of opposite. What hairstyle is this? Is this just?
Did we ever
That-
determine if this
Pocket
is
Beagles?
Grenbliss or
Yeah.
Grenbliss?
Red Bliss.
Oh, maybe Florin Gelb.
Florin Gelb? I could see this being a very Florin Gelb look.
You look like you've been landed on. Yeah, like Rand steps on his face, just kind of disheveled.
Here we go. It's a side cut. It's a messy Karen Nae'Blis. And of course, this
Karen
Dusty
when she
Wheel
just got
guy.
out of bed.
Except, see, I'm not going to give any
Great.
promotion to this because you can say that all you want, but you got to remember I have the capability to do this.
I have similar capabilities, but I'm not going to use them because I know you like to.
I was going to say, I'll one up it.
I know.
I will one up it.
I know you will, and I don't like that, so I won't do anything.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what's going to happen.
I rule by
I
fear.
know-
That's how the
I know
Nae'Blis
what you're gonna
rule
do.
by fear.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
I know you
thank
do that.
guys
I think
for
it
joining.
fucking sucks.
Now that I've got this service, by the way, I will probably have random people on to be guests when I live stream. I don't like planning them out. I like kind of the unscripted hop on and let me screw up your night, which is what I've done to you guys. So
You don't want to do another weekly, twice weekly show.
honestly, I would be all for it because here's the one great thing about this is I don't have to do any editing after this is over.
Mm.
So that is the one positive to this is there is
It
no
is.
editing to it. It's done.
Mhm.
So that's nice.
Yeah.
But
Like
That is
I
nice.
knew that doing YouTube was going to be more time consuming than a podcast. I did not realize how much more time consuming.
uh-huh.
No.
I think it's shocking.
I
that
may
people
have made a
do it.
mistake.
Well, I'll give this one
What
piece
have
of
I
advice.
done?
This one piece of advice: if you want to grow your subscriber base, don't do what we're doing right now. That's not the right choice.
Yes,
That's,
live streams
that
are
is
not
the-
great for that.
that is not.
You've
the,
sold me. I might have to sign up for this. This is really cool what you can do.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's
I-
nice.
You know, you can do all of this with OBS. It's just the difference of like having to learn how to use it and set it all up ahead of time, and
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
you don't have a tailor, and neither do I.
It's a problem if you don't have a second person like that.
So this is just like I just like it because it's like one touch and I'm done, and I can do that with OBS too. But it's like I don't know. I just find this easy.
No,
So-
I have to check this out. This is cool.
It's like I can do this. I like watching Jess's reaction every time I do it because she loses it. Like Brian is kind of like you've killed the joke, man. Like, stop.
Yeah.
Like that his reaction to it is like you've totally murdered the joke. But Jess is like falling out of her chair every time I do it.
Like everything, because you want to know what it is. It's the timing. The way it just comes out of nowhere, and it's just sort of like. Well, and okay, so you know with ADHD, it's sort of like if you can see a thing, it exists. If you can't see it anymore, it's gone. It no longer exists, right? And so I forget about it until you do it again, and then it's hilarious all over. So yeah.
Well, I think I have killed the joke. So because Brian's look, you should see Brian goes.
No, that's not true. I've been dancing every time it starts.
Oh, you did the first couple, and the last couple you've been like.
I'm just danced out. I was dancing every time it started, and then I realized no one could see me dancing while it was happening. So then I got mad. I was like, I've been dancing this whole time for nothing. No one saw it.
No one saw.
So that was just like, well, no one's going to see me dancing anyway.
I just appreciate that Nae'Blis is working so hard to get me to 50K. That's what I want you to know. I appreciate all of your efforts in that regard.
Look, so I'm all for it. I'm all for it. And guys, Matt, you and I talked about this a while back. I wonder if this is still worth doing we can put together a little live stream and talk about this over. But for anybody that like wants to understand like how to get into making content, like whether it's podcasting, whether it's YouTube, whether it's, we had talked about a long time ago, talking about some of the things that go into that and like, what are some things to consider if you're going to do it, best practices, if you want to build a website. Matt can tell you all about it. I'm learning about that right now. And like, if you want to run a really successful podcast, like Jess could run a clinic, and there's, right. I'm putting her on the spot.
It was
making her the expert.
It was all just like, we just did bullshit and people liked it and it just happened. Or like, okay. Oh,
that's the secret. That is the secret right there.
Just do it.
And I don't know. It might be a cool subject at some point to talk about.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I think people understand like how much goes into it. Because YouTube is, man, it is an entity of its own. It takes a long time. I think my average video takes me probably averaged about 12 hours of work to get one out. But that's like not 12 hours of time of me screwing around, like 12 hours of serious work on it. And let alone, some of them take longer than that if it takes a lot of research. And because that's half of it is writing it and researching it and making sure you know what you're talking about. And even then you still screw stuff up. And then, and if you're Brian, you're just really, really entertaining. And
so it looks really easy. Brian, it takes Brian probably 20 minutes or something like that.
Yeah. Like do you even prep yours? Do you just get on?
Yeah. No, I just do. No, it's a lot. Well, it's a lot.
If you guys are not aware, I think most people in the chat are, but real quick before we go, Jess, tell everybody what you're doing at the Amerlin study and where they can find you and what you're doing.
Yes. Okay. I'm the Amerlin study on YouTube. I do reaction videos, so to the stuff that on Prime has been dropping, but I'm also doing reaction videos to the audiobooks. So I'm actually listening along and commenting as I go, and I am doing counted cross stitch as I do it, like needlepoint, and I call it Stitch and Bitch. So it's a good time. So yeah, that's what I do.
It's fabulous.
Awesome. And you can find yourself where we can find you where it's called the
Amerlin study.
Okay. On YouTube. You can also find her on Tarvalin After Dark as well.
It's true.
Recappa Sadai, where can we find you? What do you do?
I host Wheel Talk on YouTube. You can definitely find that searching Wheel Talk, Wheel of Time on YouTube. We just posted a new video. I recap chapters. I also do spoiler specials, but for the most part, I retell chapters from the Wheel of Time in an insane way that you're probably not expecting. And it's a lot of fun.
He also did this hilarious Tinker song that was stuck in my head for like 3 weeks after.
Yes.
Sometimes we throw some stuff in there that you don't expect to be in there. So it's fun. We have a lot of fun on the channel. It's a wacky channel. And there's a new video today, so check it out.
I can guarantee you this. If you have never checked out, like, I think there's because I know this about my recap videos, right? Like when I'm just talking about, like, there's some of my least viewed videos. I do them for the website, but I know that they're not going to get a lot of views. There's a certain audience that loves me just talking about what happened in a chapter. If you think that's what Brian is doing, it's not that at all.
No.
Like, not at all. So when you hear that, like that he's recapping a chapter, it is not him talking about, and then they did this, and then they did this, and here's what I saw from it. Like, it's not analysis. It's like really effing funny.
It's
like,
a retelling. It's
super entertaining and acted out with wigs and characters and a lot of editing. If you have not checked out Recappa on Wheel Talk, you need to do that.
You are missing out, seriously.
There are a couple YouTube channels on the internet that are completely underappreciated at the moment, that just haven't got the audience that they should have yet. These are some of them right here. I'll throw in Lauren from Unraveling the Pattern, who makes probably the highest quality content that I've seen. Like, the people just don't know about.
Amazing.
Like, so you all need to check them out. And then last but not least, Mr. Matt Hatch from the Dusty Wheel. What do you do? Where can they find you?
Basically, all we do is this very thing. We do a live weekly or twice weekly show about the Wheel of Time. And we cover theories and Robert Jordan's notes and news. Like, we cover the news when it launches every time there's a live launch news, and it's fabulous and it's awesome. And we just do live content. That's like our specialty. And we have a lot of fun. My son runs production, and and it's a blast. We have a lot. It's like I said, it's live call-in, so we get calls coming in, and
I love the call-in part. That's such a good time.
Yep.
I think we had like 10 or 12 people call in for the last news show. It was just, it's just fun talking to fans live, and chat is its own show. Like, at the Dusty Wheel, chat is a show, and so people come to. I often hear this. They come. There's lots of people that come in to just chat, and then they go back and watch the show afterwards. So it's a.
I can see that.
It's a blast. I think we've had almost 100 unique guests on the show so far, and we've had over 120 live streams in the last year and a half. So
that's amazing.
It's a blast. Yeah,
it's an amazing show. You do your
job.
Yeah, it's so impeccably put together.
Like, seriously, it's professional as hell, my dude.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It's a legit talk show. So, guys, this has been. Thank you for sticking with us. This has been like a 2-hour live stream. This is crazy. But hey, this is what you all should be doing right now. For those of you that have not subbed out to all of these folks, even if you watch their videos and you're not subbed to them, do it. Sometimes people watch their videos but aren't subbed.
How dare?
What are you thinking? Who told you that was okay?
Fucking rude.
Here's a big question for you before we go. This will end the show. Lesbian Nerdy asks this. What are you going to do at 1 million? So we're going to get Landfear at 50K. What happens at 1 million?
I have no idea. I don't know. What do you want to happen at 1 million? There's levels of absurdity that I'm willing to go with you, but I have no idea what would happen at 1 million.
Will you dress up like Princess Leia and Jabba the Hutt's slave outfit, and then do the
Oh my God,
Leia at 1 million subs? Will you dress up like Princess Leia and do the Sasara? That's what I want to see. The Sasara dressed as Princess Leia at 1 million subs. I think we're all for that. Did we just confirm it? He said yes.
We did not. No,
I think we did. I think we did.
Nae'Blis has a very strange fixation on seeing Matt in drag.
I do think it's really funny to make Matt do funny things.
Exactly. That's what he would like to do. He'd like to put me in anything that will make me maybe blush is a thing that he'd like to see me do. So I have no idea what 1 million subs would be. I would probably want to do some ridiculously absurd party for everyone. That's what my 1 million sub would want to be. We would do some live in-person live party show, something. That's what I would want to do. So, yeah,
I'm glad you confirmed that, and I'm glad you confirmed that it's going to be here. Like, when we look back at 1 million subs, we'll look back at this episode where it was put in stone and signed. Because Matt, I know you're a man of your word. Like, you are a very moral. You're a really great guy. You're somebody I look up to, and I know you never go back on what you said. And I'm glad we were able to confirm what you're going to do at 1 million subs right now. I know it's a ways off, but we've confirmed it, and I think this
off.
It could be a year.
A year. Look, when we get to man fear, we can. I guess how about this? When we get to man fear, then we can talk. You know, like then.
Let's not count our chickens before they're hatched. Let
Exactly.
get 50,000.
Guys, if you have not subbed to Matt Hatch, make sure you get the Dusty Wheel to 1 million subs so we can all see Matt and make 10 accounts and sub. Okay.
Love it.
Guys, I've said this like 6 times now. I think we are going to end it. Thank you all for joining us and sticking with us. I hope you had fun. We'll probably do some more of this. Have a great night. I'm going to kind of end these and make sure you like and subscribe before you go. See ya.
Yeah, I do. See you guys.